So you're looking to get into a renovation project on a residential property, but you don't know where to start, or you're afraid of going over time and over budget. Here today, we're going to discuss the 10 tips you need to keep in mind whenever you want to do a renovation project. My name is Drew Allum. This is the Calgary Home Sale Channel. I am a realtor and investor here in the city of Calgary, and let's get into it, talking about how to keep you on time and on budget and make sure your renovation project is successful. So the first tip for you is to find a project to work on. Now, when I say find, I'm not saying go out and buy it just yet. Just decide on what it is that you actually want to work on. Is it a property that you already own that you simply want to renovate? Do you need to go find another property? Is there a property that you're thinking you're comfortable with within a certain budget range? Find that first, and then we jump into the next step. Tip number 2 for you is to now decide what you're going to do with that project when you have it. If it's a property you already own, are you going to be renovating this to rent it out for hopefully higher rents? Are you turning it into an Airbnb? Or are you just deciding now it's time for you to renovate and flip this property? If it's a property you don't own, do you have to go out and find one? Do you have to now engage your realtor or wholesalers or go out and find the property yourself? Decide what you're going to do with the project. That's your second step. The third tip for you on doing a renovation project is to budget for the project. Now, this is coming down in a few different steps. This is going to come down to design, if you can do that yourself, if you're going to have someone who's coming in, an architect or an interior designer to help you out with the project. Materials are going to be important to find out about, as well as contractors if it's not going to be something you're just doing yourself. Be aware of the scope of work that you're taking on and budget it. The more you can budget, the better. The more you have a chance to actually check out and price check, whether it be contractors, anyone else that you're bringing onto the project, or even the materials, the better for you. In that as well, when you're budgeting, try to get yourself some money aside. The project we're standing in right now, for example, has been a few months, and a lot can happen in a few months. So you want to get yourself a bit of a slush fund with regards to your budgeting. So probably around 10 to 15% more than you think you have. It's better to have more and get rid of it afterwards than to be looking for money in the midst of your project. So budget for your project. That's your next tip. If this property is something that you're going to be refinancing after you're done, or you hope to sell for a profit, then tip number 4 is very important. You're going to have to calculate the ARV, which is the after repair value. It's very important to know what your property is going to be worth, regardless of what it is, condo, townhouse, semi-detached or single family, or even multifamily, before you get into it. Calculating the ARV is going to be super important for the tips that follow. The next tip for you is your financing. And when I say financing, it's not necessarily going to be, you going to the bank to get a mortgage, which for most of the projects that we're looking at, you're going to be looking for a loan of some sort. But if it's a property that you already own, you still need to finance the budget that you have. Do you have enough money, whether it be in lines of credits or cash, to do all of the renovations that you want? If not, do you have hard money lenders or, as I mentioned before, traditional lenders, the banks, etc., who are going to be able to finance the projects for you? Get yourself an idea of what it is that you need for cash based on your budget and based on the type of project that you want to pursue. Tip number 6, you've done all of the homework. So now, if it's a new property you have to find, you can go make offers. You should have a relationship with your good agent or a wholesaler, or you're finding the properties yourself. You know exactly what it is that you're looking for. You have a budget in mind. You have an idea of the scope of work that's going to be needed and the time frame for you. Based on all of those numbers, and arguably if you want to be doing this for a profit, you can now subtract from the after repair value and you'll find out what it is that you need to make offers at. As long as you follow those numbers, you should be good to go. Better still, as I said in the earlier tip, if you have built in your contingency fund of 10 to 15%, you can actually get into your project knowing that as long as everything stays on time and on budget, you're going to be successful. Tip number 7 for you is don't forget your permits. Depending on where you are or what you're intending to do with the property, you may need building permits and or even a development permit. Now these things here, for example, within the city of Calgary can take anywhere from a couple weeks to get from the city, or development permits can take months if you have to actually redesignate land, for example. Understand what that is, and make sure you factor in time for that as well. But get your permits together once you've found the project that you want to be looking at. Tip number 8 for you is to now purchase your materials. Best time for you to be shopping around if you have not already done so in the earlier tips. If you're waiting on permits to actually come in, you have time to actually now get your materials together so that once you have possession of the property and all of your permits in place, you and your contractors can just get to work and keep you on time and on budget. Tip number 9 is to start your renovation. You've done all of the tips before and you've got everything lined up where you need it. It should be very simple and straightforward for you and your team to now get in and get what needs to be done. And the final tip for you is, again, depending on the scope of the work that you're doing for your renovation, make sure you check in on your renovation from time to time, especially if you've got a team of contractors. Even if you have a general contractor who's got subs below, check in to make sure the important thing with any renovation is staying on time and staying on budget, and that you get exactly what you're hoping for at the end of the whole project. And there's your 10 tips for undertaking a renovation project. Did I forget anything here? If there is, leave it in the comment section down below. Or I'd love to hear if you've undertaken a renovation project and how that went for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well for more information like this. If you're new to real estate investing and you're not just taking on a renovation project for yourself, but looking to flip real estate for profit, then you probably want to check out this video here, where I go through the 4 people that you need if you want to start flipping real estate. My name is Allum. Thank you very much for checking out this one, and I'll catch you in the next video.